Hi, welcome to Barvotti's Tools for Creatives. I am Phoebe Bradbury, and today I will be demonstrating some of the tools that I use every day in my art studio. I wouldn't want to be without them, and I find new uses for them all the time. So here's the setup. This is where we're going to pour the paint. I have got here it's something I purchased. It was supposed to be very smooth. It's a little artist gesso board. I think it's designed actually for this type of thing, for very small paintings. I've got these little cups attached to the back of it, but it's just a hard board, and it's got a very nice gesso, very smooth gesso cover. I tend to use white paint as my pouring medium, and that's not necessary. So I'm going to be using a type of pouring medium today. So I got my little sticks here. That's my paint all mixed up. So instead of a very small amount of paint, I've mixed it with this pouring medium. We'll do a pour just like we did before. We'll see what happens. The thing about pouring medium, this stuff, is that it'll dry crystal clear. I'm just going to pour these into this because apparently I need more medium on my board. Now, nobody has contacted me, at least not to my knowledge, and told me what I have to do. Nobody who's watching. So I just want to take these and pour them individually into this thing, the whole thing. So we're going to have a lot more colored paint in there. I was very stingy before, and I have no idea what's going to happen. Oh, looks like I'm going to have a lot more than I need. Let's just do this, a little bit of that. I think I probably need the whole cup, but I'm not sure. And I think this is called a dirty pour. I'm not sure, but I was actually online about half an hour before we did this. The pour I'm going to do is what they call a tilted cup pour. So I've got my paint in that cup. I'm just going to turn it over. And it is possible to pour this stuff very differently. And I did add a little bit of a very special oil to the blue, and I let it sit. So those were things that I hadn't done before. I had put oil in it before, but I hadn't really paid much attention. We're slowly getting closer and closer to what might be something that'll work. So I can let it sit here for a bit, and you must know that I'm not pretending to be an expert on this. Ooh, I think I could have used a little more white. There is no white in this one. So this is a very dark one. And let's just let it see if things are going to bloom. Or the other thing I can do with this if I want to is I can add colors to it. I'd like to encourage it to go to this corner here. One of the tools that I do use that I didn't demonstrate today is I use these shapers for doing this sort of stuff. I'm just going to try and tilt it over to that corner. When I do this, I don't really want to do it very harshly. I want to do it very slowly, because if you start tilting quickly, you get a lot of sharp lines, when probably what I like is gentle sweeping lines that look like something like a puddle that I might have played with when I was a child or something like that. And one of the things last time, which is an absolute no-no, and which is the reason why I had to discard it, was I thought it'd be wise to spray a little bit of water in the corners. And one thing you do not add to a pour, what destroys a pour right away and destroys the integrity of the paint, is water. So that little soft little spray went right across the whole surface and destroyed it. So this is actually looking pretty good. This one looks right. It's very dark for the kind of things that I used to do, but then I always had a fair amount of white in mine. But when I'm looking at this, it's like it's settled. I don't have to paint the sides like I normally would, because I usually use the thick-sided things. So what we've got here is something that it looks like it might be quite nice. I haven't painted into it yet, which I will do in a minute. And these are what I use to draw into them when they are settled. Now this one, I'm not quite sure if it's settled or not. It seems to be making something called cells at this point. I'm just blowing on it. It's not my best side. Let's put it that way. What you're seeing, the stuff that pours off the sides, you're sort of seeing that behind. So I'm noticing there's very dark in the middle here. I'm not sure if it's still pouring off the sides or not. So what I'd like to do is bring some of these marks in. So I'm going to stick it in here. It's a thin, I'm going to use this one, I think. It's a little thinner. And I'm just going to go right like this, okay? I'm going to do it now. Okay. That's because I want these colors to get in there. Oops, see how fluid that is? So that gives me some brightness there. Here, maybe some from there. I also like the red up here. I'm wiping it off between because I always want it to go to the center of the color and pull it out. So depending on the type of paint you've used, this will be easier. This is probably not going to flow too much because it's been sitting here for a bit. And I'm just drawing these things because I can, and I don't want to just sit here and do nothing. So the other thing you can do is if you find an area which you'd really like to bring over a bit more. I'm not sure whether this is going to work or not, but I'm going to just bring it over. Because it's so damp right now, it should. Okay, I'm going to let this dry just the way it is right now, and we can have a look at it on Monday. Oh, actually, I could, if I wanted to. This is where I could do stuff, like I could do a little bit of yellow there. No, I may have ruined it, but I don't think so. So I thought it was just too dark. And there's none of this in here. So this could add some, what this can do. It was busy before, but it was all busy dark. Now it's busy light and dark. Oh, I know one of the things I used to do was swirls. One of my best ones was where I did a fair number of, I'd start like that, and then I'd go like that. This looks a little spotty to me. Let's just see if we can do something. So if I have things that are similar, I'm just going to leave it like that. Okay. Thank you for joining us today. You can find us here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at noon Central to do demonstrations and answer your questions about the products. I'm looking forward to seeing you on Monday.